see if, hey, Neve, what's going on? I see you there. Hey, people are saying, hey, this better be Elon Musk. It's like, it's close to it, you know? I'm getting there. I'm trying. What's up, Matthew? I'm doing good, man. It's been a while. I haven't been in a Women's STEM Live in a few weeks now. So I do want to tell everybody that this one's going to be a little bit different. We hope to allow someone to come in and ask questions. Anyways, I'm going to bring in Joanne because she's also coming in with us. We got Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Joanne, what's going on?
Hello. I'm not Elon Musk, but I'm another rocket scientist that also likes Dogecoin. So, to the moon.
Let's pump it up.
Let's pump it up. Let's pump it up.
That'd be great. So I'm just looking at where people's from right now.
Vegas,
Philippines.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm
all over the
excited,
world.
just because, like you mentioned, we're going to bring a special guest on, a random person. So please ask some really good, interesting questions to Susie. She's going to introduce herself, but she's an amazing mechanical engineer that also works at NASA. So, if you, oh, hey.
Hi.
Miami, how's it going?
Yes, I'm bringing Miami to the house.
Nice.
I'm always in my balcony because my roommate doesn't want me to take it. She's watching the news. She's a diplomat, so that's her job.
Yeah.
How's so so I know Sandra, you're in Miami, and Joanne, for people that don't know, where are you at?
I'm in Orlando, but from Puerto Rico. So I see there's a
Puerto
Puerto Rico
Rico.
represent. Yes.
Nice.
I'm
nice.
in Disney World, the Disneyland, so.
They're from Puerto Rico because they don't pronounce the R. So that's how you can test them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
La R.
So,
I'm from Peru, Lima, Peru. But,
and I mean, I'm from California, but my parents are from Mexico, so that's my Jalisco. If anybody's familiar with that area over there, yep.
Is that the Tabasco? Like, is that where the Tabasco sauce comes from?
Tapatio.
Oh, no.
Tapatio. So
Yeah.
I'm Tapatio, yeah. Yep. So yeah, we have a special guest today, Susie, who's also a NASA engineer, just like you, Joanne. And we have Sandra as well, and a lot of people already know you, both of you. So, Sandra, you want to talk a little bit about Papaya, and Susie, are you going to do the introduction for her?
Yes. So we've been wanting to have Susie for a while, and she's always busy. So we're very happy to have her finally today. She represents, I think, that femininity in STEM. I think she is a big advocate about not having stereotypes against women and the way they want to portray themselves, right? At the end of the day, the person that you want to be shouldn't be, or the fact that you're an engineer doesn't mean that you're socially awkward, or it doesn't mean anything bad. Like, so she always tries to portray that she's a woman, and that even though she's told that she's not an engineer, or she doesn't look like an engineer, she wants to advocate for that. I like all those filters that you're doing. Are you trying to distract me?
No, we're just trying to.
I'm in the International Space Station right now.
I like that. I don't know how I cannot do that. I don't get that update yet. And yeah, I like Susie, and she also advocates for minorities. She herself is a white female in engineering, so she's also a minority, but she also advocates for Hispanics and also Black people in engineering. So I love that Susie is just trying to be a voice for the people who don't have the representation, and it's great that you are providing with that platform, Eduardo, for all of us to
anytime. It's
to
so
give
powerful.
A voice to the voiceless. Yes.
It's so powerful to have women in STEM, right? I say it every time. There isn't that many, so the fact that you're all here, it's very powerful. I think I haven't really seen this happen with other platforms, so let's keep it going.
A little shade there.
Do it.
So I should bring Susie, right?
Yeah, let's
yes.
Let's see, where are you, Susie? If you can send me a request, that would be great, but if not, here's mine.
Oh my God, the box. Hi, Susie.
Okay,
Hi, thank you.
I don't want to jinx it, but we have not had any technical difficulties yet.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your introduction. That was way better than anything I was going to say. So I really appreciate that.
And you sent your bio before, and I read it, but I also just see your post, and it inspires me. Because I told Eduardo that I used to have two different platforms, and the Sandra who was just the person that I am, like I was scared to be myself, like funny or bubbly, and because that didn't fit with an engineer, and I didn't want people to not take me serious, so it was just like living a double life, and it kind of it can wait on you, like
Yeah.
because that's not the person you are, and I just like I felt so insecure about not fitting that stereotype, and that's when I like, and Papaya is all about that, raising minorities, like leveling the playing field, making tutoring affordable and accessible to all. And a way that we want to brand ourselves is by raising minorities, showing that representation. And that's when I told Eduardo about like Papaya and this initiative about Women in STEM Wednesdays. And
I love it.
yeah, and like, I mean, how amazing is him that he's just like, okay, and that just shows you that you have to ask, like, because some other females here would ask me, how did you get Eduardo and all the sponsorship that you have with him? I was like, I just asked.
Yeah, you just gotta ask.
Yeah, I remember you sending me a message, and I answered to people that actually sent good messages to me. So, yours was one of them, and it turned into this now. So, yeah, it's been amazing. So yeah, we're gonna get into the memes, right? I know
Yeah,
Sandra's
let's do
gonna
an
help
overview.
us
Yeah.
before we get into the conversation with Susie. So,
Yes, so let me show the memes.
is Sandra on the bottom?
Yeah.
What? Oh wait,
She's in the
hold on
bottom.
1 second.
Yeah, because I think the comments might be blocking.
Oh, am I on? Oh, okay.
I can pull it up myself. I'll
You
pull them
sure?
up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull up the memes.
I was gonna say, while we wait, don't forget, please let us know your questions. We're gonna pick a random person to join our live. This is the first time that we're gonna be doing this. So ask really good questions. You have rocket scientists here, and you have some amazing engineers. So please. All right, let's do the memes.
All right, Susie, what does this remind you of?
Fluid mechanics. I remember when I was in fluid mechanics, my professor was like, yeah, you have 4 variables and like 14 unknowns. It'll eventually cancel out. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with this?
Math. This reminds me of math a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
Bunch of equations, they start canceling each other out. All right, so let's move on to the next one. What do you do for a living? A lot of people like this one, so I'm a mechanical engineer myself.
As am I. So this one really, brought it home. And I like cars a lot. I love to fix cars, but I've gotten this question quite a bit. I'm like, no, I work on, rockets. It's fine.
Oh, it's just rockets. Just rockets.
Just rockets,
no big
it's
deal.
whatever.
All right, here comes the next one.
I actually have asked Eduardo if he can help me with my car.
She did. She actually did ask me, and it's a nice car, so I didn't want to ruin it.
Oh yeah, K means everything. It's more
Spring.
than spring constant.
Yeah.
Yep. And then in EE is like resistor.
Yeah.
Which one's better?
I mean, personally, I would think
I was gonna say, chemical.
spring, but because that makes sense.
All right, let's go to the next one. That's guys are gonna get upset at this one, Susie.
I know, and I submitted this one. I saw it. I was like, I cannot not submit this one. This is so funny.
I'm gonna post this one later.
Please do.
Tag Susie.
Oh yeah, tag me. That would be great.
Okay, here we go. Next one.
Oh yeah, this was mine because I worked in 3D printing, and there's nothing like that second print spaghetti.
Oh
What does
yeah, I
that
can.
mean? Wait, I don't get that because I'm not a mechanical engineer. Can somebody
Yeah,
explain it to me?
so when you work with like filament and stuff, it actually kind of looks like this.
Yeah.
It melts and it comes out, and sometimes if your print head isn't hot enough, it will literally just melt one side of it, and then you just end up with like shredded material, and it's a mess.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's just extruding plastic, and it looks like spaghetti at the end of the print.
If it goes badly, it looks like spaghetti. If it goes well, it looks like what it's supposed to look like.
All right. Well, there was a meme review there.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'll let you have the conversation. I cannot wait to watch. And before I leave, I guess I'll just ask you a question, Susie. What was your hardest class in school?
So my hardest class is actually a class called experimentation. There was a class portion and a lab portion, and I loved the lab portion. It was, hands-on and, Excel and reports and stuff, which was great. But the class stuff just went right over my head. And they kind of went together, but at the same time they didn't. And I actually passed that class with a D. And I was so happy to be done with it and to move on. And then I had to take experimentation too, which I got a B in. So that was better. But oh man, that one class, it really it killed me. It was rough.
So D equals degree?
Apparently it does.
Wait, so D is a passing grade?
So for that one class, apparently, yes. But in like calculus and stuff, like you have to have a C to pass. But for whatever reason, like they knew this one class was so hard, and apparently you could pass with a D and move on.
We're gonna add that class.
Right? If I had to take that class again, that would have been I wouldn't be here today if I had to take that class again.
Well, for anybody that is looking for help with classes, join Papaya Tutor. I'll leave a comment there for you, Eduardo. And thank you so much, Susie and Joanne, Eduardo.
Thank you.
I'll see you all later. Bye.
All right, sounds good. See you, Sandra.
Bye. All right.
All right.
So, Susie, I know that Sandra did an amazing job to introduce you, but tell us
Yes,
a little
that
bit
was
about
awesome.
yourself. Yeah, I know. I'm going to ask you again to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a mechanical engineer, where you went to school, and, tell us a little bit more.
So I am Susie, as you know. I went to the University of Kentucky for my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. I graduated in 2019, and then I started working at NASA full-time in July of 2019. But before then, I had been a co-op and an intern. So I've been at NASA around for almost 5 years now, which is so crazy. Wow. And I've gotten to do a ton of cool stuff within NASA. But I like to do other stuff. I like to bake and sew and dance and all kinds of stuff.
So, I know that we asked like what was your hardest class, but what was your experience in college where you obviously you got a D in one class, but were you a very studious person? Did you use tutors? Did you do everything on your own?
Yeah. So I was what I would consider studious. However, I would not consider myself incredibly smart. So I actually worked my butt off, and I felt like I just didn't get any sleep while I was in college at all. And my first couple of years of school, I went to a community college, and it was amazing, and I did great, and I got all of my calculus out of the way in physics, and it was awesome. And then I went to a big school, the State University for Kentucky, and oh man, it was just bad. It was just really bad. My next 2 years were 1.5 semesters were just really, really bad. And then my last year of school, I changed how I studied and got my grades up, and it actually helped me a lot, and also helped me understand, how I was going to have to deal with myself, in the real world when I started working. Right. And I am almost certain I slept a total of 30 hours, maybe a month, my last 2 semesters. Yeah, it was rough times my last year of school, but my grades got brought up and it was better, but I wouldn't consider myself a good student.
Did you
Although
have
I
any,
did study all the time.
I was gonna say, did you have any like tutors or mentors that helped you along the way?
Not really, which is actually so cool about Papaya Tutor, because I looked at their website when you guys asked me to do this, and I was like, oh man, this would have been like awesome
I
to
know.
have. And I just went and bugged the crap out of my professors until they were like, okay, just like stop bothering me. Or just like talk to my friends who had previously had the classes, and that helped a lot. And just reading the book, and oh my gosh, yeah, that would have been amazing.
I wish I had tutors as well. I'll let Eduardo talk, but mentors also helped me along the way too, because I had a lot of people that I relied on. My guidance counselor was an excellent mentor, and so if any of you guys are looking for mentorship opportunities and just getting into that realm, because it's extremely important to have mentors along the way to help you get to where you want to be. STEMedia really does help with all of that stuff. So they're one of our amazing sponsors. So please check them out.
Yep, I actually pinned Sandra's comment there from Papaya Tutor. If you are interested in getting free 30 minutes of tutoring, use the promo code free30 and sign up.
So because I'm in space, my comment section is completely frozen, so I can't see anything. So I'm going to rely on Eduardo to ask the questions and also pick our random guest for tonight.
Yeah, so I am seeing a lot of people asking good questions. And again, I'm going to remind everybody watching, we are going to pick one of you to come on live and ask the question directly to them. So please just keep asking the question. And I know I see Josie asking questions. So Josie, if you're interested in being a part of it, let us know. I know people are sending questions right now through the questions feature. So I can start pulling one of those. Or Joanne, are you going to ask her a few more questions before we get
I'm
into
I'm going to ask her a few questions before, and but yeah, keep asking those questions. Like I said, I'm not going to receive them because I'm in space, but I'm going to rely on Eduardo to pick the random person to come on here and ask us a question, specifically Susie. So I know that you talked about being an intern while you were still in college. Tell us a little bit about that. I know that's a question that I get a lot as a NASA engineer, and as someone who went through college. They're like, should I do internships? Is that very valuable? So since you were an intern, please tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing I ever did for myself was apply for an internship. Internships took me all the way to my job at NASA now. And if I hadn't had that internship, I don't think I would be working here as I am. And not just NASA, but all kinds of companies offer internships. Your college probably has an internship fair or a job fair, or companies like Lumis Automation helping with internships for young students. That's valuable experience that you can't get anywhere else. And it is vital to the rest of your career success. So internships, 100% all the way. Apply for as many as you possibly can. But my internship experience, I just finished up my sophomore year of college. So I had just had differential equations and physics 2. And I was like, okay, I'm going to apply to this NASA internship. I'm not going to get it. And then I got it. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this a mistake? Like, I legitimately thought they had like accidentally picked my application, which is, looking back, that's such like a downer thing to say about yourself.
That's imposter syndrome right there. Like,
you 100%.
You are 100% worthy, but then you have like those thoughts in the back of your mind saying, how did I get this? So,
exactly. Yes, exactly. And oh my goodness, it was just, I was so scared. I have a twin sister. She's actually watching right now, but she and I had never been apart. We are completely identical. And I was scared to go to my internship, and I was scared to be apart from my sister. And it was really scary. But I applied and I worked as an intern for Centennial Challenges program, which they put out challenges to the public of all kinds of problems that NASA has that they think that the public can fix better than the engineers that work at NASA. So the astronaut glove was actually from a Centennial Challenge program. And so they had someone who was a seamstress, and she made it, and she won the competition, and then NASA patented it and purchased that patent from her. So now the actual astronaut gloves that we use in space were designed by somebody who didn't work at NASA.
Oh, wow.
So the idea behind that challenge is that there's a lot of other things that we can do. There's lots of challenges right now. There's a 3D printed habitat challenge, which is actually what I worked on. And groups printed at a cat facility, and they printed concrete and they pulled it up. And then the test was whether the cat could destroy it, like the caterpillar machine could destroy it. And there's a lot of really cool videos seeing them like smash their concrete structures, which was, it's really cool. But they also have like a cardiovascular challenge where they 3D print heart tissue. And there's just so many things that it's amazing. They had a cube satellite challenge that went on for like 7 years. And the end result of that was that the winners, who have already been chosen, get to fly their cube satellite on the SLS when it launches. So
there's still some CubeSat things going on right now, because I know at Launch Services Program we launch CubeSats all the time. That's what we do, is scientific and uncrewed missions. So if there's anyone out there who's watching and has a really good design or a scientific project that has to be done in space, please apply to these CubeSats, because all of these little, we keep saying CubeSats, so they're like a payload that goes on a rocket, and there's science experiments that can only be done in space. And so if you're really interested in that, please go like Google NASA CubeSat, submit your design, because you can be chosen. So please do that.
Yeah, so it's so cool.
Sorry, Susie, go for it. No,
it's but yeah, that was my internship, and I did a summer internship in between school, and it was only 10 weeks long, and I got all of this amazing experience, which led into me eventually getting hired as a Pathways, which we can talk about if you want, maybe later. I don't know.
I was gonna say, how does someone apply to be an intern at NASA, and how do they become a Pathways intern?
Yeah, so the internship and the Pathways program are completely separate. So an intern is on interns.nasa.gov, and you just fill out your profile. You have to have 3 references, if I remember correctly. You have to include your transcripts, and then you have, once your profile is complete, you go into the jobs that you would like to apply for, and then you individually apply for them. Very rarely can your application get pulled for an internship that you didn't apply to. It has happened, but it's pretty rare. So just apply
for everything.
You can. Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's a limit of 15 internship applications per session. There's a summer session, fall, and spring. So
okay,
the fall and spring ones are like 16 weeks instead of 10.
I was gonna say, Eduardo, I think he's been like inching to ask you a question.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, there's a few questions, but I think I'm gonna allow them to come in. His name is Matthew. He already sent a request, and he has some questions.
Let's do it.
So Matthew, are you ready? Matthew, you're about to go live.
Exciting.
All right?
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. All right, Matthew, you're coming in. Let's see.
I think I jinxed us with the technical difficulties. I'm really sorry, everyone.
Hey guys,
Hey,
how are all of
Matthew.
you? I'm doing
How you
well,
doing, man?
doing well, doing good. I'm enjoying myself, trying to stay busy always.
That's good, man. Where are you located, and what do
In
you
California.
do?
Yeah, I'm working in a finance company. I've been doing that for about 2 years now, and I'm actually a math student, so I kind of think about the numbers, the views, the number of subscribers, and all that. So aside from all the numbers, I think that kind of bogs you down when it comes to just the general presence that you guys all want to share, right? And I think a lot of you know certain aspects of your technicalities and things you want to share. So I want to ask you questions about some of those things. And
Sure.
with the formalities you guys have, I kind of wonder, so that you are a mechanical engineer. Now, you find that to be rather interesting. You're rather invested. I come from a background of engineering as well. Like I said, I'm a mathematician though, but my uncle, he actually worked for NASA, and he really liked it. He had some good experiences, great stories, and I want you to share some of your stories with me though. I mean, if you had a goal in the next year to 2 years, maybe in 5 years, what would be your guys' goals as far as what you want to accomplish as a long-term goal?
Joan, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Joan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I personally want to become a launch director. Right now, I work on all uncrewed and scientific missions. I'm an engineer in the mission control room, and I'm able to look at my specific systems. But I
Oh,
want
wow,
to be
interesting.
Yeah, so I work on the environmental control system of the air or of the spacecraft. So therefore, I monitor like the AC unit for the actual spacecraft itself when it's going through launch. So I want to be a launch director because
Wow.
I want to. The launch director has so much that they get to do. They get to look at every single system, every aspect of the mission. They have, you know, their finger on every single one of them, and just really need to be involved in every aspect of the mission. And then on top of that, they do a lot of outreach, which is something that is near and dear to my heart because I love talking to people about NASA, about the
Yeah.
missions, and encouraging people to, you know, get into STEM and stuff like that. So combining both of that together, I think that is my dream. And right
True.
now, you know, I'm just really excited. I have a mentor. I talked about mentor earlier. There's a launch director in my division who is mentoring me right now. So
Oh,
you know,
wow.
hopefully in the next few years, I'll be able to
Yeah. I've
call
got a few
myself a
mentors
launch director.
of my own. But I think that you're talking into your experience. So I don't have much experience in the way of like the general world. I mean, I have work experience, but it sounds like these systems keep popping up and everything's go, go, go. I mean, I'm seeing lights everywhere, guys. And at this point, you know, you talked about not having any systems to work with because you're in outer space. Now, I've sat with Dr. C. Proctor and I asked her, you know, a series of questions. And some of the questions I had, she kind of talked about how she wanted to get into space as an astronaut. It made me feel as if it was such a welcoming experience that I was so pleased with how you perform as well. And I want you to be involved with her as well. I don't know if NASA is a multifaceted company, like worldwide or nationwide, but I mean, if you need like references and things of that nature, my uncle was the actual propulsions director, so he actually has a little bit more of a tailored referencing to the systems you're talking about as a mechanical engineer as well. That kind of ties into how everybody is basically working their way up in the system. And now that we kind of established a little bit more of a platform, I think that you have this desire to want to put these objects in space. My uncle never got to be an astronaut, unfortunately, and it kind of was something that he really wanted. Even like to be a pilot, you know, it's something that he really wanted. But do you see yourself going to space like Darcy and Proctor, or what kind of goals do you? Yeah, you're already there. Is that from Star Wars?
This is the International Space Station, that window where a lot of people take the picture.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
one day.
haven't,
Maybe one day
I
you'll go.
haven't been there either, but maybe
There you go.
someday.
Guys,
I'll
people
let
want to.
Susie answer
Yeah,
that
Susie,
question.
go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So I've
Please.
actually started a new job and it takes a year for training. So my short-term goals right now are complete my training and certify as an operations controller. So
Okay,
short,
so
sweet
you,
answer.
yeah, you're
Oh,
very
yeah.
you're a very general person, I think, and that's good to know because at the end of the day, I don't think there's too much to worry about. I mean, you're already set. You've been doing this for 5 years already, and I think that it seems like there are a lot of questions people have for you, and I kind of want to take a step back and let those others ask. I would love to spend more time and talk to all of you about every little thing, but that's besides me, and I truly appreciate this ability to
No,
be able to talk to all of you.
thank you
Yeah,
so
well,
much.
Yeah,
our
thanks, man.
DMs are also open, so.
And
Yeah,
Dr.
we'll all
Cyan
network.
Proctor is amazing, by the way.
She
We had her on
truly
Women in
is.
STEM Wednesday right before
Mhm.
she got selected to be an astronaut for Inspiration 4. So
Yep.
Women in STEM
Oh,
Wednesday
she got it?
launched
She was
people
here.
to space.
Yep.
Yeah, she got it.
Yeah, she
She's,
got
Oh,
it.
yes.
she's the pilot
Yeah.
for Inspiration 4. So
Oh my goodness gracious, I'm so glad for her.
yeah,
That's awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
it was
Appreciate it.
very nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Sounds good, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you,
now.
man. Bye.
Bye.
That was
All right,
awesome.
Yeah,
that was Matthew.
great.
That's the first try we do this. Okay,
All
great.
right, I love it. I think we should do it every single week now. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. There's
But
more
yeah, I
people
mean,
wanting to ask questions too.
I
So
know.
I mean, so I'll dive into a little bit more about like what you do at NASA, and then maybe we can take a break and bring someone else in, and so they
Yeah.
can ask a question. But yeah, I know that you were an intern, you're a pathways intern, and then you actually got your full-time job at NASA. What did you do? And then you talked about you just recently got a new job. So tell us a little bit more about your projects.
Yeah, so when I applied to the Pathways program, I was selected and I was actually hired into the communications office, even though I have a degree in mechanical engineering. In a roundabout way, I still made my way to engineering, and I worked in the additive manufacturing lab doing metal and plastic 3D printing. So I'm actually going to show you guys some pieces of stuff that I have made or have been made for me. So my first piece is this. This is just a little pencil holder, but this is made out of Inconel 718, which is a nickel chromium alloy that we use and print a lot. This is space grade. So it's just Boba Fett, but it's pretty neat. Oh, you can't see that. There we are. You can see the bottom, how it's like layered and stuff there.
Yeah.
So this is actually my very first print. It worked out pretty well for a first print, so I'm pretty pleased with it. Stays on my desk. When I was an intern, actually, they had this made for me, which came out of my lab. So this is a deposition printing. So this is just basic MakerBot, desk printing. But this was made in a Fortis 900, which means that we can do tons of colors. It's actually the size of like a minivan. It's a very large machine. So yeah, that's where this one came from, which is super cool. I also have something that was printed aboard the ISS, right where Joan is right now. And this is one of the wrenches. It was printed in the AMF, which is the Additive Manufacturing Facility, which is the oldest 3D printer on the ISS. So there's a lot of pictures of these that you can see of astronauts holding them, but this one actually came from space, and so did this one. And I was in the in-space manufacturing project while I worked for additive manufacturing, which is why they're in my house. And then I also have this small little vial here. This is Regolith. So Regolith is simulated soil. So this is simulated Martian soil because we haven't brought anything back from Mars, so it's not real, But when they test things like the Perseverance rover or the Ingenuity helicopter, they test things on soil just like this. So this is just a small vial of it, but they have it in kind of like a sandbox. So the sandbox is filled with this, and then they test the tires on it, and yeah, that's my cool stuff.
I was gonna say, because Percy is different than Curiosity, and one of the major upgrades that they did was those tires, because Curiosity, like Mars, it's rough terrain. So the wheels didn't survive longer than what they wanted, so they made it, I think it was out of aluminum.
I think it was too.
Yeah. So they made the new Percy wheels bigger and bulkier to last it a little bit longer, because they landed on a crater which used to be like a lake at Mars, as big as Lake Tahoe, by the way.
Wow.
So that crater has really rough terrain, and so therefore those wheels, they need to last longer because the mission has to last at least 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever they do test it on the Earth, this is what they use. They just use a whole lot more than this.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Eduardo, do you have a question?
Yeah, there's another person that wants to join here.
Yay!
Gigi, she's been a little anxious to hop on here, so I'm gonna let her.
I know Gigi.
Let her see it.
Through social media. Let's do it.
I think she left. She left.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think she just left. But anyways, I did just want to ask you a little bit about your projects too, Susie. In terms of just the challenges, I know you work in additive manufacturing, 3D printing, and all that. What kind of challenges do you face, trying to, go to space, or any problems you deal with? What kind of stuff do you try to? What kind of stuff are you trying to solve?
So I worked in an R&D lab. So a lot of our problems were developed when we were trying to, develop a new material that we can print. Or try a new part that we could use for something else. We did prints for the RS-25 engine. We did prints for the Eclipse life support system, or wind tunnel testing, anything that needs a small, print for something small within our printable range, or just a fit check part or anything like that. A lot of our struggles just came with optimizing the print, optimizing the part in a general sense. Yeah, there's a lot of struggles with the 3D printing process in a general sense, and you have to kind of go with the flow on them, because sometimes you'll just you'll put the print in the machine, you'll be like, oh, okay, this will work perfectly, and then it crashes, and you're like, why did it crash?
Right,
and you have to print it again, and then you have to figure out why it crashed so that you don't repeat it. There's a lot of rules that go along with how you arrange a plate so that it doesn't crash your own build just by the arrangement, and sometimes you just didn't arrange it correctly, or the machine did something weird, or I don't know. There's a lot of issues, with machines. There's a lot of problems.
We deal.
Sometimes
we
they have a
3D print a lot. Yeah, we
Oh,
3D
really?
print a lot. So yeah, we definitely use because we prototype, and actually we use 3D printed parts for actual projects too. Instead of spending hundreds of dollars, and you look at it, it's
Yeah.
like that's completely functional, and it's for like a
Yeah,
couple bucks,
it's amazing. And
So
like that's why even NASA loves 3D printing so much, is it's cheaper and it's faster, and it
mhm.
makes the same complexity of the part and even more complex. You just have to make sure that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. So, since this is Women in STEM Wednesdays, so tell us a little bit of your career, like as a woman in STEM. Have you faced any challenges in the workplace? Did you have any challenges while you were in college? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so you, like myself, are a woman in STEM, and we know the adversities, and we know that there's struggles even when people try to make sure there aren't any struggles, if you know what I mean. So that's actually why I wanted to create the platform that I have, is to show that other girls that they don't have to be, like the meme that we saw, like there are no girls in mechanical engineering, right? Like, I'm a mechanical engineer, so obviously that's not true. But there's just, you don't have to fit a certain mold of a girl engineer to be worthy of being an engineer or smart enough or respected enough, So I think more of, I don't want girls to face the adversities that I have faced. So I want to make sure that, like you and I are doing the same thing. Like we want to make a path so that other girls know that if you want to be an engineer, just be an engineer. It's not like I can't do this because I'm a girl. Like I don't want it in the future. I don't want it to be like a hard thing to do, So yeah, I faced a lot of adversities. Not really that I'd like to get into, but if you want to talk about it later with me, Joan, we can do that.
With some wine.
With some wine, yes.
We get questions all the time. Again, we have similar platforms of like, I'm not good in math, or I'm not good in science. Can I still be an engineer? Absolutely, you can. You have these, we live in such a great era. You have social media to connect with either one of us and Eduardo. You have tutoring services like Papaya Tutors that are there to help you and guide you through college to get you that degree. And then you also have, like STEMedia, who's there to help you with the mentoring side as well. So you have all of these great opportunities at your fingertips. And so when someone asks me, I'm just like, yes, you just need the drive and the perseverance, and you'll definitely be successful as an engineer.
I agree with that 100%. When I went into college, I saw somebody ask a question about failing math. When I went into college, I was not sure that I was going to be able to be in college because I was not good at math. And then when I got into college, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, this is literally just studying. Like I can do this. Like I can figure this out. And yeah, it really changed my perspective on like what it takes to be an engineer after struggling through so many classes. They're like, oh, I can't believe you struggled through that class. But I was fine with classes that they maybe struggled with. It's not about, being perfect in everything. It's the people who try their hardest and persevere are the ones that finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you don't have to be that 4.0 student. If you are, great on you, but you don't have to be that 4.0 student to work at NASA or any of these companies. The good thing about these platforms is we share how many classes we've failed. It's kind of like a badge of honor, because it's like a time of, like, hey, we all failed calculus or physics, in my case, organic chemistry, So that's what we try to do, is we try to ensure that if you fail, that's okay. Just pick yourself back up, get a tutoring service like Papaya Tutor, and just keep on going.
Absolutely.
All right. And do we have any more questions? Any more special
Yeah,
guests coming on?
there is two more people, and I'm gonna give them a heads up. Alka, Amira, and Gigi Messina. I'm gonna bring in Jeannie first. So Jeannie, you're coming on. Just a heads up. Here we go. Let's see if she accepts here.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Welcome.
So excited to be with you.
Hello.
I can't believe you picked me. Seriously. Okay.
You're asking good questions. That's good.
So, well, right now I'm in Dominican Republic. Probably that's why my internet kind of sucks.
No, it's
good to me.
Yeah, I'm in my country now. So, I recently, well, I'm about to enter my 3rd year as a chemical engineer, as a transfer student, because, you know, it's kind of different. And I wanted to know for next summer, or like in general, like Susie, you said that you intern at NASA. Would you say that you need like certain skills or like previously learned skills to be like a good intern?
So
Because that
actually,
scares
no.
me.
I didn't know anything. I had just finished up differential equations and physics, and that was it. I didn't know anything about NASA. I didn't know anything about rockets. Nothing. All I knew is that space is cool, and I want to work there, and I'm gonna apply. And the worst they can say is no. So that's literally what I did. I didn't know anything going into my internship. My internship was about a 3D printing competition. I didn't know anything about 3D printing then, which is hilarious because that's what I worked in for a long time. But yeah, you don't need to know anything about it. And I have a lot of friends.
I was gonna say it's a lot of on-the-job training. A lot of us, you know, we don't know this and learn this stuff in college. Like they'll teach you the basics of like physics, chemistry, you know, all this stuff, but like the actual like NASA side of things, they'll teach you, and you'll have mentors when you start. Like I know when I was an intern at NavAir, which is an aviation company, I was paired with another engineer, and you know I shadowed them very often, and you know they gave me a project, but I was in you know the presence of the other engineer that was helping me throughout the project. They're not just gonna like push you into the pool in the deep end and be like, have fun, give us what we need. They'll teach you what you need to know. And I know NASA's really good at, you know, internships and pathways, because I know when we have interns, you know, work with us right now on our missions, we sit down and explain to them what it is. If they have any questions, we're always like, give us your questions. If you have questions, don't be afraid to ask, because we're here to help you.
Yeah, and I've been a mentor to interns also, and I don't expect the intern to come in knowing anything at all.
Sorry, that was my mom.
Hola.
You're okay.
That
Okay,
was funny.
continue, sorry.
No, I just said that I've been a mentor to interns at NASA, and I don't expect the intern to know anything. We hire them based on their resume and their credentials, and honestly, that little blurb that you put at the bottom, they're like, why would you be good for this internship? That's always the first thing that I read as a mentor. So
yeah, and your passion for space. If you're really passionate
and your passion,
about NASA, you know,
that's how I got my job. Was my passion.
Oh my god, that's amazing to know. That's literally amazing. Thank you so much for your answers, and I admire you, like all 3 of you.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, have a good one. Thank you for joining.
You too. I don't know how to.
I got it. All right, so there is one more person that has been wanting to join here. Alka, I'm going to bring you in. Just a heads up. We have about 15 minutes, so let's try to make it quick here. I like these bringing in people.
This is fun.
I do too. This is a lot of fun.
Oh my god.
Hi. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being patient.
I can't believe I'm on here with you guys.
Hi.
No worries.
Hi. How are you?
I'm floating in space. I'm all great over here.
You too.
Where are you?
I'm in New York at the moment. How are you guys? Where are you guys located?
I'm in California.
Florida, Alabama. Well, in space right now.
Okay, space. I see you. So one question that I actually had, being a senior student in mechanical engineering, is that my GPA by the time I graduate is going to be like a 2.8. Yeah, yay for mechanical engineers.
I'm a chemist.
And I'm like kind of on the edge of like, you know, applying to jobs and like where I might be at with that GPA if my application won't be looked at due to that. So like, what do you recommend to like allow it to stand out?
Just so you know that NASA, our minimum requirement is actually a 2.9. Yep. So you can get into NASA with having a 2.9. Like, I think I graduated with 3.2. Like, and I brought it up from a 2.8. Like just in my last year. So you can still apply. You know, you don't have to be a 4.0 student to apply at you know, where you think would be where all the smart people work,
Yeah.
you know. And there's tons of places that, I mean, I don't think GPA matters that much at all.
It doesn't.
I was
Because
gonna say,
I had such a hard
At
time in
least not
school,
for
like
me.
I know that it doesn't matter that much. I know that doesn't define how smart you are, how willing you are to work or anything like that. So
preach.
personally, I don't think your GPA is that important, but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah,
I don't think it's important.
I don't think so either. I work for NAVAIR. I think I mentioned it, Naval Air Systems Command. They only require 2.5. And you can get to work on like Navy planes, Navy engines. And the people who, you know, I can go on a soapbox on GPA, and I'm pretty sure all of us can. It's because I don't think that test taking measures how smart you are. And that's what sucks about GPA. You know, I graduated 3.2. I didn't know Susie did too, so we're twins.
We are.
So their employer. And so, you know, that's where the training comes in. And if you are just really good at absorbing all of that and giving it your all and committing to that job, you will become an excellent employee and very successful. And your GPA after a while, after you start applying to jobs and you get that job, it will not matter at all.
It doesn't matter after your first job, actually, at all.
Oh, wow.
And another thing I was going to say is when I was in college, I learned, you know, physics, fluid mechanics, you know, heat transfer, whatever. Everything I learned for my job, I learned at work. School gave me a degree, and that's how I got my job. And that is the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
The skills that you actually learn is when you get the job. At least the real world.
100%.
That's good to hear, because the professors like, you know, bash you with this GPA, and also like when you go to the professional development departments and you're trying to apply to an internship, and they have these requirements, and you're just like, well, I can't apply because my GPA wouldn't satisfy what you guys are looking for.
And that's so frustrating.
Apply to jobs on your own. Like if your professional, you know, development area is giving you these requirements, like I said, NAVAIR for our interns, I was a pathways intern too, 2.5 GPA. That's all you had to maintain was a 2.5. So, you know, look for jobs on, you know, like Monster and stuff like that, and start applying to everything, because the worst they can say is no.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, GPA sucks so much because it's like, what if you had a bad professor that year, or what if they like didn't give you a curve, but then this other class got a curve? So to me, I could go on the soapbox forever, but
same, I could too. I'm right there with you.
Just apply to these positions. The worst that they could say is no, and then even if you get rejected, you know, talk to the recruiter and ask, like, what is something that I need to work on for the next time that I apply, because that's very valuable information as well.
Or programs or skills, or maybe a programming language, like something that you can learn and do on your own that could set you apart on your resume from other students that maybe had a 3.5, 3.7, you know.
Right. And check out STEMedia, because like I said, they're really good with mentoring. They may have a lot of tips for you as well, to help you out in standing out for these, you know, positions that you apply for.
Gotcha. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you, Akil, for the questions.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's been fun. I do want to ask one question from Josie, because she's been wanting to ask. She has a question. What advice would you give someone who is failing math but dreams of getting a mechanical engineer degree?
So as a person who has been in this position, I would definitely do, what helped me a lot was practice problems, which I'm sure you don't want to hear because that's more work. But practice problems are the key to success, 100%. And I just, you know, try your best and remember that this isn't the end of the world.
Tutors.
Yeah,
like,
I was going to say
Tutors, Papaya
Tutors has, you know, I know a friend who's recently used Papaya Tutors, and they explain things so well. I honestly wish I could go back in time, and then I would not have failed so many classes when I was in college. But yeah,
wouldn't want to relive that though.
Oh, I really don't. Like, seek out your tutors, seek out your professors, your TAs. You know, go to office hours. I know that it's like extra time at your college, but you know that really helps because they're there to help you succeed. So you know, use your network, use your tutors, your TAs, your professors. Ask those questions, even if you think that they are dumb questions, because they are not. I'm sure that other people have the questions, but they're too afraid to ask them.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I know I'm kind of rushing everything here because we got a few minutes. There's more people that might have more questions. I see Joshi is asking if she can DM you for questions. So yes, if you want to follow them, there's like a drop down here that you guys can click on, and then you can see them and you can just hit the follow. So they work at NASA. Definitely reach out to them. They're open. Their DMs is open, so hit them up in the DM.
I do have a question for Susie. Like trying to like wrap everything up. What advice would you give to your younger self, and that you would like you yourself to know back then?
So much. First of all, oh man, a lot. Like really, I would be much smarter now, I guess, you know, if I could go back in time, but it happened the way it happened, so that's okay. I remember when I applied for my NASA internship the first time, I literally applied to anything that I thought was fun because my very first reaction was, it doesn't matter, I'm not going to get this. So I would definitely like go back and be like, hey, why are you so down in the dumps all the time? Why don't you have any confidence in yourself and like what you can become, or trying to be like a woman in STEM then, and I didn't even know what that was. Like I was the only girl engineer that I knew, you know, at least in mechanical engineering, and I really struggled a lot with like my self-image, not like bodily wise, but like my self-image is in like who I was as a person, as a woman in STEM. And I feel like even over just like the last 8 months, I've really like come into my own on that since I started doing AdAstraSu, and like I think it's really affected how I think of myself as a woman within the STEM field and a woman in STEM, and how I can be representative for others. And I've never ever thought of myself in that way before. So I wish I could go back and be like, hey, even though you're not like feeling so great right now about yourself, like there are other girls that want to do what you're doing, and you need to like help them, like set it up for them so that they can do this as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just know you're a huge inspiration to all of us. All right, Eduardo, do we have any more questions before we pop out?
No, I think we have. Well, I mean, we have more minutes, 5 more minutes. I typically like ending, the series with, or the episode with, asking you how you use your platform to influence STEM, right? So just so you let everyone know what you do with your page and have them follow you as well. So
yeah,
how do you influence STEM?
So this is actually an interesting question. No one's ever asked me this before. So I don't know how I influence them, other than I'm trying to make it a safe space for other girls, you know, like myself, who maybe, you know, don't feel like they belong necessarily. I remember when I was an intern, I wore heels and makeup and lipstick, and I was the only girl doing that. And in my NASA internship, because everybody was wearing, you know, jeans and, you know, trying to look like a normal, what you think a girl engineer would look like, right? Mm-hmm. So much so that one of the people in charge at my center like called me Red Lipstick Girl because I wore it every day. So I kind of took that and ran with it and made it more of a fashion within STEM account, and more of the inspiring side. I'm also trying to get more into the actual educational side because I'm not so hot at that. So I'm trying to do better. I'm not like Joan. I can't like just do reels off the top of my head. I literally think about them for weeks before I even do it.
I have a list.
So sad. I need to do that. That's a much better idea. But yeah, I just want, you know, other girls to be like, hey, that girl's kind of like me, and if she can do it, then I can do it. And I didn't have anybody to look and be like, hey, that's weird. I can relate to that. Like I didn't have that. So I want young girls, even girls older than me or my same age, you know, trying to do what I'm doing, to be able to know that they can. There's a space for this, and it's open to everybody.
I mean, I look up to you.
Oh,
even honestly, even for me as a guy, like even dressing up like however the industry dresses up, it's just so uncomfortable to me.
It is.
It's just not who I am, you know. So I think a lot of people
jeans.
just don't like it. I'm like, dude, my back hurts. Like, can I not wear these type of
And
shoes?
I see Iron Ring Girls commenting. I actually wanted to show you this. I 3D printed this. This is my Order of the Engineering. It says NASA on it, if you can't see it.
Okay, I
Iron
love
Ring
it.
And
Girls.
I wear it
have
on my
one now.
pinky.
Hey,
So
Iron
yeah,
Ring Girls,
I
give
saw
her
her
a shout
comment
out.
and I was like, oh look. So I started wearing it again.
Hey, me
So
and Iron Ring Girls go back for a long time, and I've been asking her to be a part of it. So hopefully this convinces her.
yes, you gotta do it.
See, I'll bring. She's gonna help. She's gonna be on it someday. Hopefully.
She's gotta be honest. Yeah. But actually, so I 3D printed this though in my lab. This was like the last thing I 3D printed as a co-op. So, because I was about to graduate, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this my own. So, I did.
Nice.
That's great. That's great.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, we have 2 more minutes. I don't know,
also say,
Joanne, what do you got?
so I was just gonna say, please tell us where we can find you, and all of your socials.
Yeah, so I really just have Instagram, and it's @AdAstraSu, and like Eduardo said earlier, if you just like poke up here, you can see our accounts. Yeah, he's right there. But yeah, I really just have Instagram, and I love to post a lot, a whole lot. But yeah, you can find me there. This was super fun. I've been following Engineering Memes Guy since probably before I was in high school, like before I even had like any interest in being in engineering, which is hilarious because I definitely did not think that I was gonna be an engineer, but I love your memes and they brought joy to my sad little engineering heart.
Thank you.
College
Thank you.
years.
It feels good hearing all that. You all keep me going. So yeah, I try to post all the time. So it does
Now
take a
you
lot
have
of
more
time.
memes to post from this.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have more
you just send me
There we
some of your
go.
memes. So that's
There we
good.
go.
That's
But
really
yeah,
good.
thank you so much for joining. This was a lot of fun. I think bringing the people in. Please tune in. I think we're going to be adding that to our show because I think it's awesome. And
Yep.
thank you to our sponsors, Papaya Tutors, STEMedia, Lumis Automation, obviously Engineering Memes Guy, Eduardo. Thank you so much for having us and doing Women in STEM Wednesdays.
Yes, I thank you so much. This is such an awesome thing to use your platform for, and I really appreciate it.
Until next time.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
All right. Everybody have a good one.
Bye.